I want to talk about the Azure Active Directory and kind of how it gets information and how you can manage information within Azure Active Directory. So I've got Azure Active Directory here, okay, and I've got a bunch of users in my Azure Active Directory. All right, how do I manage that? There's actually a variety of ways that you can manage it. Of course, obviously, you can go through the API, right? Because you can go through the API to do everything. But I can also go through the portal. I can go through Intune, which if you're familiar with that, that's their Azure-based system management system. All right. Also, interestingly enough, I can go through Office 365 because Office 365 users are, in fact, Azure Active Directory users. May not have known that. Now you do if you didn't. Might not be that important to you, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, I digress. So I've got all these different ways of managing users, creating users, updating users, deleting them, etc. One really key factor is I have the ability to integrate my Azure Active Directory with my on-premises Active Directory. Right? And so I can have users in my on-premises Active Directory, and I can synchronize those users into my Azure environment. And there's actually 3 different options for that. Okay? And this is very well documented. It goes outside the scope of what we're really going to cover in this course because it's much more operations, right? But it's well documented, but just so you know. So I could have just my account sync. I could have account plus password sync, where the password is actually copied up into the Azure environment. And I can also have some degree of bidirectional, depending on which flavor, which tier of Azure Active Directory I'm using. If I'm using the premium tier, then I can do some bidirectional updating. Not a whole lot, but a little bit of bidirectional updating back to my on-premises. Now, why does this matter to us as application developers? Well, if you think about this, this could potentially make one of the very difficult elements of managing an application, which is managing authentication, and actually really take it completely out of our hands. Right? I mean, we can build an application against Azure Active Directory, and it can be a web-based, international, global application, and it could use the logged-in users from the user accounts from the on-premises Active Directory. It can use other accounts as well, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Right? And not only that, but it can be managed through a host of existing systems, or if I wanted to, I could customize the management by going through the API, which is known as the Azure AD Graph. Okay? But that's for us as developers why this is important, is because it really gives us an option, a very powerful option for a very important component of our overall application architecture.